the book of Revelation chapter 17 verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Okay, first and foremost, I'd like to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the icons that's pushing the truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video be edifying first and foremost to the hopeful elect, then to those that cleave to the body. And as you can see, all right, in politics, it says there's a new world order, and the president is willing to shake up old alliance structures. J.D. Vance declares the president is putting a stamp on world history. All right, and that shaking up old alliance structures, all right, is basically backtracking on those they have made pacts with. All right, you already heard Trump. Well, you know I think it was Trump come out and say that NATO ain't nothing without them, man. So you got to know, all right, you know, from all the alliances of America, all right, which is, you know, quite a few. All right, they gonna all hate the whore. All right, they gonna turn on her. All right, I tell you in Jeremiah that Britain gonna turn on her. You got BRICS joining together. Everybody gonna turn on the whore, man. All right, found it. Let's get this up. All right. So Ezekiel. Jeremiah meant to say Salakia. Jeremiah 15:20 says, your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. See that? Behold, the hindermost parts of the nation shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. All right? And the mother of America is Britain. Right? That's where she came out. Okay? All right? So your mother gonna be sore confounded. All right? All the nations gonna turn their arrows on her, and they gonna shoot at the whore, man. All right? Now, let me read some of this. It says, Vice President J.D. Vance and President Trump is deliberately reshaping global alliances and economic relationships, arguing that a new world order is already underway and that the administration is prepared to disrupt long-standing international arrangements in pursuit of America's first agenda. Now, first to start with the apostles, you know, and the men. We've been saying a new world order was in play, all right? From some of the staged acts they did at 9/11 and, you know, amongst other psyops and different things, these devils been doing certain things, all right, to usher in their enterprise. You see? And it's gonna be spearheaded by a CEO, a microchip, implantable microchip, man. All right? That's their that's the heart of their enterprise. This is Job 5:12. It says he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. You see? So this devil, all right, is making itself known that he the cream of the crop, all right, when it concerns, you know, all the alliances that's put together with them, and that they don't need any help. But that furthermore shows that biblical prophecy is taking place, is underway, because these other nations that was enjoined unto America, NATO and the EU, all right, they starting to make the exit. The exit plan is happening, and America ain't making it no better. All right, they're making themselves enemies in the earth, which they have already did. All right. So the Lord gonna really disappoint the devices of the crafty anyways. All right. So, but that don't mean they're not gonna continue to cause craft to prosper in their hand in doing so. All right. This is our enterprise. It says wisdom, sound knowledge, success, sound or efficient wisdom, abiding success, and they magnus opus. All right, is the microchip billions of people, man. All right, you got certain devils that done said this on interviews. All right, and the ruling elites, that's an agenda. All right, from these rabbis and different people have went in interviews and clearly said, well, look, the agenda is to chip everybody. All right, meaning to substantiate, undertaking intellectual understanding, and they're using this CHIP as a tool for the intellectually work miracles in people. All right, enhance their brain, their thinking. All right, give them ability from a disability. All right, help them see. All right, so it's false miracles. These things they're working. The thing as it is substantial, wisdom working. All right, and the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. You see, but they gonna gift wrap it and sell it to people as if this, it's gonna be it's gonna be a thing where it's helping everybody. But ultimately, all right, it's the mark of debt, that charagma. All right, lifting up that which is erect. Okay, so an enterprise, they lifting up something. Let's get that. All right, when there's a lifting up, me being Job, Job 22 and 29. When men are cast down, then thou shalt say, there's a lifting up. You see, so in their heart, all right, they in Obadiah, all right, these devils believe that they're gonna go to the top. All right, in Isaiah, all right, they shall ascend their throne above the Most High. They shall be like God. You see, so the lifting up in their mind is a device that they think gonna actually put them over the top of the world, man. You see that? And that's their end game. Okay, but all this is being in alignment. All right, this new world order is all in alignment with what the agenda is, man. And the ultimate agenda is the chip you people and put y'all under total control, man. All right, it says that's America's first agenda. All right, and whoever don't want to get down gonna get put to death. Right, it tell you that in Revelation 13. If you don't adhere with the image of the beast, let me get it. All right, you shall be put to death. And that's why they're making a distinguish between who is with who. All right, and who, obviously, who gonna try to get away from this thing. All right. It's Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. You see? So if you don't take this thing, you're going to get put to death. Let me read a little more. It says, speaking in an interview with Megyn Kelly, Vance framed recent tensions with European allies, right? European Union allies, right? And border shifts in trade and security as part of a larger realignment in global power. And a global shift, a paradigm shift is underway. All right. Let's see what this double thing gotta say.
Definitely, I think a new world order. I think the president has sought to it. There's a new world order in trade. There's a new world order in globalization and the way that we invest in our economy versus, foreign supply chains. There's a new world order, and that the president is willing to shake up some old alliance structures. I mean, NATO, I think, is much different because of the president's leadership than it was 10 years ago. It was sort of coasting. It was effectively a protectorate of the United States of America.
Yeah, NATO, he said, things have changed under Trump, and Trump have been, we believe he's Nero 47, man. All right, he had to burn America and play the fiddle while it's burning, man. All right, on all fronts. This is the most activity under a president ever. All right, that has ever been, which is marks a global shift, a significant global shift. All right, in the things that we're heading to in life. All right, life ain't gonna be the same in the regime in the near future. All right, it's the new normal. What you're witnessing is the new normal. And again, we already in soft stages of everything. All right, we're in a soft stage of war. We're in a soft stage of the new world order. Now they say, it's already underway, and you're getting it firsthand from these devils, man. So it's not like, let's not act like there's not a. Let's not act like there's not a identification showing, all right, the level of what this man is talking about, man. All right, they're at the forefront with what their agenda, man. Now, if you can't see it already in succession, all right, then that's particularly because the Lord ain't blessed you with actually being able to see these things. It says, Vance's comments came amid ongoing debates over the future of U.S. alliances, particularly with Europe, and questions about whether Washington is recalibrating its traditional leadership role in transatlantic institution. He pushed back on public criticism from European leaders, arguing that private conversations tell a different story. It's so funny to me because the Europeans, they're very friendly in private and willing to make a lot of accommodations. Then publicly they attack us and say, we're not going to work with the Americans. We're not going to do anything with the Americans. I'm sorry, it's all bogus. Everybody knows the situation is going to come to a resolution. I think it's going to be a resolution that's good for Europe and most importantly, good for the United States of America.
Ran for their cigarettes when they exited the building?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think they did. They were stressed.
I did not follow up. I did not see what they did afterwards. We had a good meeting. It's so funny to me because the Europeans, they're so friendly in private and they're willing to make a lot of accommodations, and then publicly they attack us and they say, we're not going to work with the Americans, we're not going to do anything with the Americans. I'm sorry, it's all bogus. We all know, everybody knows that this situation is going to come to a resolution. I think it's going to be a resolution that's good for Europe. Most importantly, it'll be a resolution that's good for the United States of America. But the idea that they haven't made any accommodations or concessions to the United States, it's not true.
So according to Vance, European governments have already made concessions to Washington, despite public rhetoric suggesting otherwise. And a lot of the time, these people say one thing and then go right and do it. America will do a peace treaty, shake hands, and then strike the people. With a nuclear hit, man. He argued that claims of resistance of U.S. pressure do not reflect the reality of ongoing negotiations behind closed doors. The interview also addressed broader questions about whether the United States is moving away from Europe as its primary strategic partner. Asked whether the world is entering a new phase in which the U.S. might shift towards other alignments, Vance pointed to cultural and political differences he says are widening across the Atlantic. There's a real question about that, given some of the speeches I've made to the European Union. Some of the speeches President Trump has made, what's happening culturally in Europe, their crackdowns on free speech. They look less and less like we do. Vance said there's a real question about whether a massive shift is happening now in the terms of world alliances long term. Vance placed NATO at the center of discussion. And this got to happen because it's Iraq 10. It's been all kind of, underhandedly dealing. All right. Sirach 10 and 8, it says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. You see? So it has to happen. All right. There's a real question about whether a massive shift is happening now in terms of world alliances long term. Vance placed NATO at the center of the discussion, arguing that alliances has already been transformed under Trump's leadership. He said the president's approach has forced allies to reassess, and a lot of these NATO countries have left, left the EU, man. Have left the alliances of America and started getting down, with these other countries, man, dropping the yuan, dropping the dollar, all right, and dealing in other dollars, man. It says, he said, the president's approach has forced allies to reassess their reliance on the United States and their own defense commitments. NATO is much different because of the president's leadership than it was 10 years ago. It was a sort of coasting, effective, and protectorate of the United States of America, Vance said. All right. Yeah, so the president is putting a stamp on world history, and I'll skim and scam through, a little bit of this. It says the remarks reflect a broader effect by the Trump administration to redefine U.S. engagement abroad, emphasizing domestic investments, reduce dependence on foreign supply chains, and a reassessment of alliances formed in the post-Cold War era. As global tensions continue to evolve, Vance comments signal that the administration views disruptions of established norms not as a risk to be managed, but as a necessary step in redefining America's role in the world. So, they're trying to get these devices to pass. I'll get this and get out of here. This is Psalm 37. Nobody's ignorant of this devil devices either. He making himself the enemy. All right, so he think he the big bad wolf. Well, he did at one point. Psalm 37 and 7. Rest in Yahweh and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospered in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. All right. This devil think he gonna, run it up in front of God, further oppress God people while the Lord just sit there, man. Because the Lord said he thought he was all together with him. All right. Because, the Lord hadn't been making moves on this devil to actually, get him up out of here. This devil is fully set in his heart to do evil. Craft. Prosper in his hand. Okay. Daniel 8 and 23, it says, and in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. All right. It says, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. All right. because a lot of these devils get they get from heaping themselves, nations and other people. All right, a lot of times that be the strength, and that's what's weakening the whore too. All right, the breaking up of her alliances. All right. And he shall destroy wonderfully and shall prosper in practice and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. All right. And through his policies also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. And a lot of times through this devil's policies, it ain't just on Jake. It's on the whole world through democracy. All right. The running around, coveting field houses, everything that they're doing, they're giving the people. All right. Doing upside down or shaking the hands of bribes, shaking hands with bribes. They're the tabernacles of bribery. All right, they've been bribing people, getting over. They're in massive debt. All right, so now they gotta look. They're gonna pull a sword out. Be like, whoever want it, come get it. Come get your money, China. All right, and that's what happened when you get so far in the hole. All you do is be like, well, hey, I ain't paying it. All right, in America, debt is so far in they can't pay it. And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. All right. So the same people he was at peace with, now they are enemies. They are enemies now. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Because you can't do nothing against Yahweh Shai. All right. Magnify his heart by peace. He have destroyed many, man. So this devil, man. So, hey, he putting a stamp on world history. And let's get this new world order. All right. Order of chaos. All right. Order out of chaos. Let's get it going. All right. Because we going to get delivered from it. So we need these things to happen. Though we going to scarcely make it. We going to make it. All right. So that pretty much was the point. It's a new world order, and it's already underway. It's crazy, man. Okay, we told you so. Right? We just spiritual broadcasters. We just announcing what's in play, man. What's in plans, man? Are these devils? All right, and what they intend to do to the entire world. Okay, so I don't want to write this out. It was edifying. Till next time, I say shalom.